The Israeli-Palestinian battle has got both Christians, Jews and Muslims talking. Depending on which side or geographical region one is, the opinions could be different. Whichever side one decides to take, the battle has been seen to largely take place at the point where the spiritual narratives of Judaism, Islam, and Christian faith intersect. Jerusalem is a representation of a diverse religious landscape where most Christians can engage in interfaith dialogue and deepen their understanding of their own faith and the broader spiritual context. Today we focus on the central place of Israel in the spiritual culture of Christians, which is based on its deep biblical association with the salvation of mankind through the life, teachings, crucifixion, and resurrection of Jesus Christ. Jesus was born in Bethlehem, an event that is central to Christian belief. Most biblical figures such as Joseph and David were in Israel. For example, in the book of Luke 2 verses 4-7 it reads, "So Joseph also went up from the town of Nazareth in Galilee to Judea, to Bethlehem the town of David, because he belonged to the house and line of David." The miracles that Jesus did took place in Israel. The book of Matthew 4 verse 23 reads, "Jesus went throughout Galilee, teaching in their synagogues, proclaiming the good news of the kingdom, and healing every disease and sickness among the people." Jesus would later be crucified and resurrected in Israel. The book of Matthew 27 verse 34, 28 verses 1-10 describe the crucifixion and resurrection events of Jesus Christ. Israel is, therefore, home to numerous holy sites that hold very deep spiritual significance to Christians. The sites include Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem, the Garden of Gethsemane, and the Church of the Nativity in Bethlehem. Pilgrimages to these sites play a crucial role in Christian spirituality and culture. Many Christians who visit Israel find a deep spiritual connection and personal reflection as they walk in the footsteps of Jesus and engage with the places where key biblical events occurred. The book of Revelation chapter 21 verses 1-5 talks about the new heaven and earth, and although it does not mention Israel directly, Jerusalem is mentioned. To be more precise, here is what it says. "Then I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth had passed away, and there was no longer any sea. I saw the holy city, the new Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God, prepared as a bride beautifully dressed for her husband. And I heard a loud voice from the throne saying, 'Look, God's dwelling place is now among the people, and he will dwell with them. They will be his people, and God himself will be with them and be their God. He will wipe every tear from their eyes. There will be no more death or mourning or crying or pain, for the old order of things has passed away.' He who was seated on the throne said, 'I am making everything new.'" Even in the Old Testament, Israel was mentioned 2,500 times, and the restoration of Israel was prophesied by Ezekiel. In the book of Ezekiel chapter 36 verse 24, it says, "For I will take you out of the nations. I will gather you from all the countries and bring you back into your own land." Based on this verse, many Christians see the establishment of modern state of Israel as fulfilling biblical prophecies and a sign of God's faithfulness. God's creation of world and humanity in Genesis chapters 1-2 in the Garden of Eden is believed to have taken place in Israel, and this means that the story of Adam and Eve in Genesis chapter 3, and Cain and Abel in Genesis chapter 4 took place there. It is also possible that God's call to Abraham and the promise of a covenant in Genesis 12 verses 2-3, and the birth and attempted crucifixion of Isaac in Genesis chapter 21 verses 1-7 also took place in Israel. Exodus from Egypt to the sacred land of Israel by Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and King David, and the Ten Commandments at Mount Sinai in Exodus chapters 19-20 was also in Israel. The same as the promised land of Canaan in Joshua 1-24 to the descendants of Abraham. These events and many more are central to the Christian faith and have a deep significant influence on the religious and cultural traditions of many Christians around the world. This is not to say that Jerusalem is not significant for the Palestinians, as for Muslims it is home to the Al-Aqsa Mosque, the third holiest site in Islam. For the Jews, the Holy Temple and Western Wall are also significant. The start of the tensions that we see today can be traced back to prophecies rooted in the Bible. Political and religious negotiations between the Israelites and Palestinians are always accompanied with a lot of emotions, and it remains a challenge on how the differences can be resolved. However we look at it, the creator of humanity, the earth and universe is one, and we are all equal before him. None of these three religions promote disagreements of the magnitude we see today, Whether is Judaism, Islam or Christianity, peace is emphasized as the God they all preach about as a lover of peace, reconciliation, forgiveness, compassion, and coexistence, not viciousness.